Okay, so here we are, another day, another discussion. And today I'm going to share some information about a topic that you may or may not know. It's pretty important, and it's one of the things that we just should know about. And the question is, what is the role of a credit bureau? So, when you start dealing with credit and you start learning about credit, maybe your own credit, you start building yourself some good credit so that you can have some buying power to do certain things. What's going to happen is you're going to be involved, whether you like it or not, with the credit bureaus. And those three credit bureaus are the three major ones are TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Now, these are the three major bureaus that are out there. And, your whole life is going to be dealing with these indirectly in a sense. Because once you establish some credit, um, it's going to involve these three bureaus. And these three bureaus are going to take your information and they're going to use it so that they can share it with others. And I'll explain that in a second. So, establishing credit is something that you should be aware of because it's going to either make or break you in a sense. So, if you have good credit, you can really go a long ways. You can establish yourself um, some good buying power. You can establish yourself to open new businesses, buy a home, get car loans, get construction loans, whatever, home improvement loans, whatever it is that you might need some money for. Having good credit is going to enable you to purchase the things or get a loan that you need to. Having bad credit, unfortunately, is the opposite effect. It's going to disable you. It's going to prevent you from getting the things that you need, such as a house, a car, getting a loan for a car, unless you have the money. Just several different things like that. And now what's coming more prevalent is also the ability to even rent an apartment, so to speak. So having good credit is going to be a benefit. Having bad credit is going to be a detriment. With that said, there's what's called the credit bureaus, and the credit bureaus are the three major companies that have access to your credit report. They are going to give you a score based on this certain criteria: late payments, your payment history, your credit history, and so forth. There's 5 factors. They're going to gather your information over the period of time that you've had credit, and they're going to keep a log on pretty much everything that you've done with loans and financing, in a sense, pretty much loans and credit. They're going to keep a log, and what's going to happen is they're going to give you a score and a report. So there's two things: a report, and the report is going to give you a score. With that, that's going to either prevent you or enable you to get a loan that you may need. So these three credit bureaus are actually, they have a purpose. Their purpose is they provide your credit reports to lenders, which use them to evaluate your credit worthiness. So what that means is, if let's say you're going to go buy a house and you're looking to buy a house, you have a realtor and you're searching. Well, okay, you find a house and you need to get approved for a home. I'm just going to say, let's say it's worth $300,000 and you only have $20,000 in your pocket. Okay, great. So you need to borrow the difference so that you can purchase this house. Well, with that said, you need money. You need somebody to give you some money. So these companies that have this money to lend, they don't actually know you, right? I mean, think about it. Their companies, people work there. That's their business, but they don't personally know you. So the only way that they can evaluate you to see if you are someone that they can trust to pay what they owe is going to be the sense that they are going to look at you in a different way, and that way is going to be through your credit report. And so that's what the credit report does. These credit bureaus are going to they've created this algorithm, and it outlines who you are in the sense of your credit worthiness. And with that, they provide this information to the lender, such as a mortgage company. And with that, someone is going to sit at a desk, or however the computer works, or if not, they're going to read your information and find out if you are a candidate that they were willing to give you, $280,000 or whatever. And if you don't pass their test, and the test basically is a credit report, and amongst others, they might have their own evaluation within the company, but the main thing they're going to look at is this credit report. If you don't pass the test, then that's how they know if you are a candidate to lend money. And so that's why it's super important. You don't want to mess this up, because it's going to follow you for a long time, this credit report and your credit score. So you need to maintain it, because you never know. If you're in your 20s and you're not thinking ahead that, oh, in my 30s, I'm going to buy a house. If you're not really thinking about that, someday you're going to get married, you're going to have a family, you need to provide a house for them. And if you're not in that situation to borrow because you messed up, in their 20s or early 30s or whatever, then you really need to think about it. Whatever age you're at right now, you need to think about it, because it's going to be, like I said, a benefit or a detriment, and you want it to be a benefit. And so that's what the credit bureaus do. They have this formula and this information that they gather. There's 3 of them. They each give a score, and they're usually pretty close to about the same. They're not always exactly the same. And what they do is they give whoever's requesting it. If you go buy a car at a dealership, then you want to finance it. Well, the dealership is going to work with the bank. The bank is going to pull your credit report, and then the credit report is going to let them know yes, yay or nay, whether you're going to get the loan or not. Same thing. If you're going to go buy a house, the mortgage company is going to do the same thing. If you want to refinance your home that you already have, then there you go. They're going to look and see if you can actually pay back the money that you want. If you want to have a construction loan to remodel your house or add on to it, then it's going to be the same thing. You're going to go try and get a loan, and they're going to pull up your credit report. The credit bureaus are going to give that information to the lender, and they're either going to say yes or no. And so the credit bureaus, whether you like them or not, are part of your life. And if you try to borrow money without a credit score or without a credit report, is almost near impossible. If you have a low credit score, you could probably get it, but it's going to be a high interest rate. If you have a good credit score, you're most likely going to get it, and then you can have a low interest rate. So there's a benefits in either way. Now, could you borrow money without a credit score? Yeah, you probably could. But speaking to the majority of people here, most of the time you're going to need that. And actually, I would say almost all the time you're going to need some type of a good credit to borrow money. And so that's where the credit bureaus come into play. They give that information to the lender, and the lender can see whether you are a worthy candidate. It's just like if you had a friend that borrowed money, and if you knew this friend and you knew he's a faithful guy and you knew he's worthy of paying you back, then you'll give money. But if you also knew the same friend and he just is not very trustworthy, then you probably wouldn't lend him money. That's how the banks look at your credit report. If you have a long history of good payment history, a good credit history, they will most likely lend you money. If you don't, then you are going to be a candidate that they might not lend you money. So that's why credit report is important. That's how the credit bureaus are. They're like that middle person to they're the go-between. So they're super important. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this is something that you can kind of get a little bit better understanding of what is a credit bureau. There's 3: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, the 3 major ones, and those are the ones that do most of the reporting. So I hope this helps. Hope you learn a little bit, and I thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Instagram, please follow and comment below. If you need help with your credit report because it isn't too good or not up to par, just direct message me on Instagram, and I'd be more than happy to help. Or you can also email me through YouTube, and I will also gladly help you out. That's what I do, and that's what we do for a living. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a blessed day.